The GameCube wasn't a huge success like the PS2, but it still won the hearts of many gamers that generation with its Nintendo exclusives and comfortable controller. This console was the worst selling Nintendo console right behind the Wii U, but many people are now seeing that this small box that played games was actually pretty amazing with its exclusives and its innovativeness. The GameCube is now loved by many a gamer 14 years later, after its November 18th, 2001 release. It was generally knocked because of its weird look and odd choice of color, but the people that stood close to Nintendo on this release were not disappointed.
Being discontinued in 2007, the GameCube did not live a long life. While being generally short-lived, it is still being played by many people all these years later. There are still Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments going on after being a GameCube launch title. Geez, the game is almost as old as me, and I can still tell how revolutionary it was with the controls and competitiveness.
The GameCube came with a large library of AAA Nintendo exclusives, from Super Mario Sunshine to Metroid Prime. I guess you could say that Nintendo's support on the console is what made it so great. Just like on the PS2 MiniSpective, we talked about third-party games. While there might not be a whole lot for the GameCube, there are still ones that are really good. Star Wars Bounty Hunter is also on the GameCube, just like on the PS2, but to be honest, this is where I prefer to play it. There's also the critically acclaimed Star Wars Rogue Squadron series. Other than a few more Star Wars titles, the third-party support on GameCube was lacking for the most part.
The GameCube had a lot of interesting peripherals. It had the then normal memory card that plugged into the front of the system, and the wireless controllers that were probably made by Mad Cats. And then you dive deeper into the more strange and awesome ones. The first to come to mind is the Game Boy Player. Just like the Game Boy Player and the SNES, this extension thing lets you play your Game Boy games on the big screen. This was awesome for people that wanted to play the games where you didn't have to be sitting right under a lamp to see. The other peripherals included a link cable that was for linking your Game Boy to the GameCube. This has functionality in The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure and the Wind Waker. This isn't really necessary in Wind Waker, but if you want to play multiplayer in 4 Swords and you don't have one, you are fresh out of luck.
The GameCube, in terms of hardware, was right in the middle of that generation. It was slightly more powerful than the PS2, but then the Xbox crushes both of them in those categories. Another piece of the GameCube's hardware was the optical discs used for games. They were really small discs made only for the GameCube compared to the now expected 4-inch across optical discs.
The GameCube was a commercial failure, but turned out to be a classic with its amazing amount of first-party game support and a loving fan base.
It will always be known as the underdog of its generation for being undersold but amazing in every other way.
If you want more gaming videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe.
Be sure to like the video and share it with your friends.
Thanks for watching.